So good evening, and welcome to the final briefings of the Integrative Capstone Workshop in Sustainability Management. My name is George Sarah-Nicolau. I coordinate the Capstone Workshop course and usually teach one of the sections. The Capstone Workshop, as most of you know, is one of two required courses in the program, and it's a very special one. Because the students in this course do something very different than in all of their other coursework. They actually work on a project for a client, a real sustainability project, which gives them an opportunity to integrate the skills and the knowledge they've acquired in the rest of the program. The course tends to come near the end of a student's course of study, so the final briefings are also a culminating point, a celebration of all the work that students have done in the program. The other very important aspect of the capstone, which I think tends to get lost, is its significance in terms of public service. We take on projects for government organizations and not-for-profit organizations, and the work that we do is really important to our clients. It is very significant in the communities in which we work. Tonight you will hear about 5 different projects, but 2 in particular, one in Newark and the other in Mexico City and Puebla, which will make significant contributions to those 2 places. And it's something that I feel very proud of to be associated with this course and when I see projects like that. Let me say just a couple of words about our format tonight. There are 5 presentations on our agenda. Each will be strictly 10 minutes long. At the end of those presentations, the presenter will take a few minutes of questions, and then we will take a break. You can resume socializing and having some food and drink. At the end of those 5 minutes, I will call you back and we'll do the next presentation and we'll go on like that. Now, because it's the final briefing, we are video recording the entire session. So it's very important for presenters to speak into the microphone, for the audience to turn off their phones, other things that make noise. And if you're asking a question during the Q&A period, please wait for the microphone before you speak. So I want to encourage all of you to participate in the Q&A, to socialize during the break, and to enjoy the presentations. And so with that, we'll start with the first one. It's a project advised by Professor Lynette Witter. So I'd like to welcome the first presenter.
Good evening. Our team, advised by Lynette Witter, is excited to present our capstone project, Living on the Edge, which focuses on peri-urban agriculture in the periphery of Mexico City. Our objective is to assist our clients in a joint venture, combining animal husbandry, organic waste to fertilizer production, methane capture and reuse, and sustainable water harvesting into a single package for populations without access to these types of municipal services that would otherwise satisfy these needs. We aim to fold this package into a broader narrative encompassing environmental, economic, and social equity issues while providing our own package of time-saving demographic and funding research within these same spheres. Our problem was to figure out how best to provide 2 understaffed and overworked clients with tools to restructure their workdays and help them get out from behind their desks and into the field where their work could have the most impact. We will begin by introducing the work of our 2 clients, Isla Urbana and Sistema Biabolsa, both social entrepreneurships with whom we've been working these past 3 months. We'll present our research methodology, which led us to our outputs. These we will present to our clients next week. And finally, we'll discuss how our mandate has evolved over the course of the semester into acting as a research lens through which we can bring the possibility of a potential joint venture into focus and the impact that this will have. Sistema Biobolsa has developed a biodigester, it's an anaerobic biodigester for small-scale agriculture that uses bacterial growth to convert a combination of animal dung and water into fertilizer and energy, much like a stomach does with food and water. This technology reduces agricultural waste and turns methane emissions into biogas for use in the home. Their motto is "No hay desechos, solo recursos," or "There is no waste, only resources." Isla Urbana manufactures, installs, and services rainwater catchment systems, improving water access, particularly within indigenous and low-income communities, alleviating stress on these marginalized populations, while also reducing strain on infrastructure and reducing the needs to increase centralized water systems. Our clients both use the same manufacturing plant in Mexico City to build the geomembrane found in each of their systems. Through repeated interactions and common interests, or late nights after work over mezcal, as the case may be, they saw a symbiotic relationship potential in a co-creation project, both recognizing that each had access to a market share that the other did not. Sistema Biobolsa's clientele, shown here in the green dots, are by nature linked to water-thirsty agriculture. Expanding to locations with additional available water resources means that the client can reach more underserved populations, an important step towards food security for Mexico and its more vulnerable citizens. Isla Urbana's installations, shown here in blue in the call-out box, cluster in the southern part of Mexico City, an area with low access to municipal water supply. As you can see, there is not much overlap in their locations. Yet, the separate systems could combine into a larger picture package, satisfying both an overall sustainability agenda and the social entrepreneur's missions, allowing the technologies to spread to new places neither could go without the other. Making these installation maps led us to wonder if we could use other mappable criteria to identify a type of peri-urban location where both clients could operate together. To begin understanding this type of location, we look closer at what a peri-urban zone means. It's a place that is connected to a thriving megacity by public transportation, in a proximity that feeds social vibrancy, where residents live densely enough to benefit from Isla Urbana's rainwater harvesting system, yet is neglected by many city services in a way that demands self-sufficient livelihoods, and is spread out enough that households may have enough space to keep a few rabbits or a pig or grow some vegetables. The zone is also defined by the condition, which is created by a spectrum of ecological and demographic factors that we chose to research, and we'll see in a moment. When we met with our clients in Mexico City, we quickly realized that we had to expand our scope of work beyond just a cooperative working strategy to include the ideas of place and condition. Yet we also knew that we needed to narrow our vision to a very specific and targeted set of deliverables for the clients, which became a series of maps and a research archive. In addition to the installation maps you just saw, we've produced a series of decision maps. To make them, we combed through various sources and identified certain data as indicators of successful joint installation potential, such as those you see here for water access, land use, and precipitation. We analyzed data for each indicator to determine what specific conditions were associated with current installations, and created a rating system based on the frequency of existing installations within each type of situation. We then combined the two data sets for each indicator to paint a picture of the most desirable locations for a joint installation, Using the green one, land use, as an example, we found that a majority of Isla Urbana's installations were located in a built environment. Therefore, this land use type received the highest rating for Isla Urbana. Using the same methodology, we analyzed a total of 6 indicators, shown here on the left: population density, water access, unemployment, land use, precipitation, and connection to municipal gas lines, and combined them all into the decision map on the right, showing our recommended locations based on joint venture potential. Here we zoom into Mexico City and see that there are plenty of high potential areas within 50 miles of its borders. Red is a high joint venture potential. In order to identify these chosen indicators as important to the client's work, we went through a large and diverse set of sources on the successful development of marginalized communities and created a research archive of our work. We tried to depict here on the left some of the connections made between keywords that we identified, showing by line thickness how often, for example, economics was discussed in the same source as sustainability, or soil quality with food security. The chart on the right shows a sampling of some of our keywords and how we organize them. And this archive will also contain cover sheets that highlight how each source can be effectively utilized by the clients, and includes both annotated and original versions of the sources with standardized citations. The information can be sorted in a variety of ways, such as by publication year, author, topic, and keyword, creating a quick and easy-to-use resource at our clients' fingertips. We imagine them using this archive to streamline targeted funding applications, enhance marketing texts, or to support advocacy initiatives, among many other possibilities. The research archive and the maps together act as this lens that we sought to produce, taking in a large amount of useful information and filtering it for our clients. We're excited to be able to hand over tools we believe will enable them to generate a sustainable joint business model. We've also analyzed how these tools can change the client's current day-to-day workflow, depicted here on the right, freeing them from having to sift through their own data or spend too much time researching unsuitable funding opportunities. The left side of our graph shows a more streamlined workflow that could result from incorporating our tools into their daily routines, enabling them to spend more time in the field where their work matters most. Witnessing this work firsthand inspired us to explore in our work a deeper analysis of what their partnership actually means. The clients had the foresight to intuit a meaningful partnership, and for them, we were able to hone in on an array of tangible, quantifiable arguments to validate and facilitate this idea. Together, our clients can create a synergistic foundation to support peri-urban communities as we have defined them, geographically, socially, and conceptually here, going beyond simply improving quality of life and environment to validating their existence in an ever-globalizing marketplace. We thank you for your time tonight and invite any questions you may have. Well, it's an estimate, but we have been in close contact with the clients. We talk to them weekly, in some cases more often than that. And we did go down to Mexico City and visit their offices, so we know that they actually only have one desk where they all sit around, so they spend a lot of time. There's not really clear job descriptions, so everyone's kind of fumbling around doing everyone else's work. And so it's more of an estimate. It's not an exact science, but we feel that having this research archive and the maps, they can spend less time actually trying to conceptualize that themselves and can just look at it and go out in the field and do more of their work. So it was more of a proportionary thing than actual numbers. Thank you.